Welcome to Kansas Ag Report with your host, Brian Holman.
Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Brian Holman, and here's our lineup for today's show. In Ag News, we'll take a look at local and national headlines affecting Kansas farmers. In our Ag Feature, we talk with Mike Shear from AgriSolutions, and we'll talk excess moisture issues. And inside Kansas Ag, Kansas Wheat talks Festival of Breads, and KDA tells us why June is Dairy Month in Kansas. And in news you need to know, we get our weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association, look back at last week's market activity with the guys from Paragon, and we'll let you know about important events coming up around the state of Kansas. Glad you could join us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Here's our national headlines for this week in Ag News. Walmart has announced stricter guidelines around animal welfare and the use of antibiotics in farm animals. The new policy calls for the elimination of gestation stalls in pork production and battery cages in egg production. The guidelines also call for antibiotics to be used only when medically necessary, with the oversight of a veterinarian and the elimination of the use of antibiotics to promote growth in animals. Walmart did not give a timeline for the implementation of these policy changes. It's the first time the giant retailer has established an official position on these issues. The EPA is supposed to finally deliver a renewable fuel standard by June 1st. They are to announce the proposed standards for 2014, 15, and 16. Renewable Fuels Association Senior Vice President Jeff Cooper says the EPA and the White House have been very quiet on this, so they have no idea what the number will be. He says while the volume numbers are important, how the EPA justifies them is just as important. The proposal is to be delivered on June 1st. There will be a public comment period with the final standard to be published by November. The Rembrandt Egg Facility in Renville has become the largest Minnesota farm infected by avian influenza. The Minnesota Board of Animal Health confirmed the positive test results last week, and under the quarantine order, Rembrandt will be required to depopulate the entire site, affecting 2 million chickens. According to a news release, Rembrandt will temporarily lay off 39 full-time employees beginning around June 1st because of the outbreak. The company says it has every expectation that it will restart the operation, but is unable to predict the exact date on which this will occur. Rembrandt had to destroy 5.5 million chickens at a farm in Iowa last month because of the avian flu. In the local news, during the next several weeks, USDA's NASS will conduct 2 major mid-year surveys, the June Agricultural Survey and the June Area Survey. The agency will survey nearly 7,300 farmers across Kansas to determine crop production and supply levels in 2015. NASS will compile and analyze the survey information and publish the results in a series of USDA reports, including the annual acreage report and the quarterly grain stocks report, both to be released June 30th of 2015. All reports are available on the NASS website at nass.usda.gov. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security announced the award of a contract for the final phase of construction of the National Bio and Agri-Defense Facility in Manhattan. The $834 million award by S&T's procurement support partner modified the existing contract for McCarthy-Mortensen in-Bath joint venture. The state of Kansas is providing $307 million, and the city of Manhattan is providing $5 million toward the total acquisition cost. The award is the beginning of the third and final phase of construction of in-Bath. Construction is expected to be completed in 2020 with full operational capacity achieved. The Kansas legislature wrapped up its 4th week of veto session without making any notable progress in addressing the budget shortfall. The legislature returned to work on Tuesday to find a way to eliminate an over $400 million projected deficit. There was one positive development in cutting the budget deficit. The House and Senate Joint Budget Conference Committee met and was able to pare the state budget by an additional $25 million. For each day the legislature continues going forward after its constitutional required 90 days, Kansas taxpayers will be charged an additional $46,000 to keep the legislature running. However, legislatures can waive their pay, and many of them have. Up next in our Ag Feature, we talk with Mike Shear from AgRisk Solutions, and we talk about excess moisture issues. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. Please stay tuned.
This segment brought to you by Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. GrassandGrain.com.
A.B. Flint Motor Company, selling quality used cars and trucks in Southeast Topeka at 32nd and South Kansas Avenue. Integrity Gun and Pawn, 2 Topeka locations specializing in firearms and training. igpawn.com to learn more. Kansas Weed Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for weeds. Online at kswheat.com.
I'm Dr. Frank Lyons, a physician here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. As one of the only standalone stem cell centers in the U.S., we use your stem cells as therapy for arthritis and some autoimmune diseases.
I'm Dr. Andrew Pope, here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Utilizing the latest technology under strict protocols, we're able to harvest your stem cells from your own fat to treat a variety of medical conditions. The best part about it is, it's a same-day surgical procedure and requires no general anesthesia.
The 20th Annual Kicker Country Stampede, starring Blake Shelton. Yeah, the boys round Florida Georgia Line. This is how we roll. Travis Tritt. Also from the Cynics main stage, Thomas Rhett. Miller Lite, the official beer of Country Stampede. Our prices increase February 28th. Get yours now. Get them now before the price goes up. Like us on Facebook or buy online at countrystampede.com.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
We're joined today by Mike Shear from AgRisk Solutions, and we're going to talk about moisture issues. So, Mike, thanks for joining us this morning.
It's great to be here, Brad.
I guess it's a case of be careful what you wish for. We've wished for moisture for the last 2 years. We got 2 years worth, seems like, in 2 weeks.
That's exactly right, yes. You always hate to complain about moisture and moderate temperatures, but it's gotten a little excessive here recently, yes.
What are some of the issues that we should be facing moving forward?
Yeah, so of course these kind of type situations bring up lots of issues for producers, unfortunately, that certainly end up affecting crop insurance decisions and have crop insurance implications. So I guess the first thing that usually comes up for producers is getting into replant issues. You know, they've planted a corn crop, got a big rain shortly thereafter, doesn't look good, they feel like they're going to need to get in and replant. That's pretty cut and dry. Mainly you want to make sure you let your agent know before you destroy a crop or anything like that. Get an adjuster out there to look at it. What becomes more problematic usually is when you're in that situation, but you actually aren't even able to get back in that field in a timely manner to replant it to corn, let's say. So then you get into what we would call a failed crop situation. You're going to tear up that crop and maybe try to get in and plant another crop, maybe plant soybeans after that if if you haven't put any chemicals on that restrict you from that. That's a whole other category of crop insurance issues that gets really much more complex. So again, you just want to make sure you stay in good contact with your agent, let them know what you have going on, so they can get an adjuster to look at those issues before you destroy a crop primarily.
What is our time frame on that? Because you drive down the road and you see corn actually underwater right now. I mean, what's our time frame that we're thinking about here?
So in most of the areas that would be watching this, May 25th would be the final plant date for planting corn, actually. So once we get past that date, you still have some flexibility in terms of trying to get it replanted, and you won't lose any coverage. If you don't have the corn planted yet and you plant after that day, you're going to lose a % of coverage for each day after the 25th or whatever the final plant date is in your area. And then if you don't have the corn planted and you're not able to get in, we can also get into prevented planting issues. So crop insurance does provide coverage if you're prevented from planting. So once you get past that final plant date, the producer does have the option to file for a prevented planting claim. What that does is it pays 60% of the coverage. So as a worst case scenario, it provides a pretty decent backstop for producers that aren't able to get in and plant. So we're thinking about that right now in terms of corn. We move towards soybean final plant dates, which vary quite a bit throughout the state. Hopefully it dries out before then, but if it does stay wet, we could be looking at that with soybeans as well.
Well, I know the latest USDA report came out as far as field crop conditions go, and we're well behind on soybeans.
Yes, that's for sure. That's for sure. So,
well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about wheat and what you should be thinking about. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. See you in just a minute.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life. Farmers Insurance, your best protection against the unexpected. Call Agent Dan Key at 785-408-5459. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Blue River Traders, the finest selection of Western-style furniture for your home. BlueRiverTraders.com.
Thanks for staying with us. We're joined by Mike Shear today, and we're talking about excess moisture issues, which I can't believe we're actually talking about excess moisture issues, but we are. So, Mike, a little bit of rain probably would have been good for the wheat crop. This may not be so good for the wheat crop.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I think at one point, certainly in areas we have really high yield potential on wheat, and still do in many cases, but starting to get concerned about, okay, are we at a point where this moisture is actually hurting the yield or creating disease pressure issues? So that's what we start worrying about right now. A lot of variability possibly. If it gets bad enough, or flooding issues, you could obviously be looking at some wheat that isn't going to get harvested. So again, as I say all the time, you want to stay in good contact with your agent. Let them know if there's any fields that are destroyed that you're simply not going to harvest before you tear them up and try to do something else with them. When it comes to disease pressure issues and things like mycotoxin type issues that could affect the wheat quality when you do harvest it, that gets to be a really, really sticky situation in terms of crop insurance. So as you do begin harvest and taking wheat to the elevator and maybe running into some dockage issues around quality, if that gets severe, like I said, especially in terms of mycotoxins, you want to make sure you contact your agent right away about what you need to do, because oftentimes there are situations where we actually have to get an adjuster out there to pull a sample out of each load before it gets dumped into the elevator. And so that's not a lot of fun, but if you don't get everything done up front, you could really miss out on a claim issue.
How should we prepare for that? I mean, we're talking about we're not really going to contact anybody until we're starting to harvest.
Yeah, exactly. So it's tough. It's a dynamic situation. So like I said, if you're hearing of neighbors that maybe have taken some wheat in and had that issue, just make sure you talk to your agent about what their process is going to be on how to handle that. Like I said, if you take a load in and it's a problem, you're looking at dockage, maybe even before you dump it into the pit, make sure that you talk to your agent. Or if you have wheat going into on-farm storage, but you're hearing of issues in the area, talk to the agent and the company about what they want to do, because once that wheat again goes into on-farm storage, it kind of closes some doors in terms of quality loss issues from our perspective.
Make sure you check them out on the web, agrissolutions.com, and ask them any questions you might have. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. We'll see you in just a minute.
Kansas is becoming known around the country as the new dairy frontier. The dairy and milk production industry contributes a total of $847 million to the Kansas economy, directly employing or supporting 1,254 jobs. Kansas dairymen and dairywomen are dedicated to innovation and adding economic value to their communities and our state. The growth of the dairy industry means more wholesome dairy products for families in Kansas and throughout the region. There are more than 300 Kansas farm families who take great care of their animals to provide wholesome, nutritious dairy products. Kansas dairies produce more than 344 million gallons of milk annually. The Kansas Department of Agriculture is proud to salute these hard-working farm families as we celebrate June as Dairy Month in Kansas. Kansas dairies have worked to become efficient and take pride in the work they do. A cow's health is of utmost importance to dairy farmers. Dairy farmers know that healthy, comfortable, and well-treated animals produce high-quality, wholesome dairy foods. In response to consumer demand, the dairy food industry has developed new milk-based beverages beyond traditional dairy products. These new drinks are tasty, have wide appeal with younger consumers, and provide a nutritious alternative to sports drinks. So join me this month and enjoy cheese, yogurt, milk, and even ice cream as we celebrate the important contributions of the Kansas dairy industry during June Dairy Month.
There's nothing quite like the smell of fresh homemade bread. If bread is a traditional form of aromatherapy for your family, be sure to head to the National Festival of Breads in Manhattan on June 13th. The festival is a free event at the Hilton Garden Inn and is open to the public. We just ask that you bring a non-perishable food item to donate to the Flint Hills Bread Basket. Doors open at 8 a.m. with the opening presentation on the history and art of flour sacks. Other demonstrations include Sharon Davis of the Home Baking Association, Zoe Francois, author of How to Bake Bread in 5 Minutes a Day, and Rod Gray of Pellet Envy Barbecue, who will present on barbecue basics. Also present will be representatives from our sponsors, King Arthur Flour and Red Star Yeast. The festival is a family affair with a kids zone where children can learn about baking, milling, and will even be able to make their own tasty tortillas. The National Festival of Breads is a competition to find the best amateur homemade bread in the country. After hundreds of submissions and test baking dozens of recipes, the top 8 finalists are chosen and flown into Manhattan to bake their products in front of a live audience. Visitors will be able to view the individual kitchens, watch the process of making these wonderful breads, and will be able to interact with the bakers. If you're interested in learning more about the festival, visit nationalfestivalofbreads.com and be sure to visit on June 13th.
This segment brought to you by Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. A.B. Flint Motor Company, selling quality used cars and trucks in southeast Topeka at 32nd and South Kansas Avenue. Integrity Gun and Pawn, 2 Topeka locations specializing in firearms and training. igpawn.com to learn more. Impact Satellite, your local authorized DirecTV dealer. Impact Satellite at 785-554-5974.
All the time. Monthly payments of $289, $189, or even $89. How is this done, you ask? Well, with large down payments, low mileage leases, and you must qualify for all rebates offered. Can we do this? Yes, we can. But we'd prefer to give you the straight talk, where we tell you all the information up front, and you make the decision on what vehicle and payment you want. You won't need bifocals to read the fine print here. Dick Edwards, serving the Manhattan, Fort Riley, and Junction City areas for over 30 years.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Tammy the Pro Home Plus is all about providing warmth and kindness to aging individuals who find it difficult to live on their own. Tammy's team is made up of experienced caregivers and nurses committed to the highest level of individualized care, focusing on health and well-being, and assisting with nutrition, grooming, medications, therapies, and daily living needs, all in a warm, caring environment. Call Tammy the Pro Home Plus today at 785-383-7094 to learn how we can help.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
You hear it all the time. Monthly payments of $289, $189, or even $89. How is this done, you ask? Well, with large down payments, low mileage leases, and you must qualify for all rebates offered. Can we do this?
Yes, we can.
But we'd prefer to give you the straight call, where we tell you all the information up front, and you make the decision on what vehicle and payment you want. You won't need bifocals to read the fine print here. Dick Edwards, serving the Manhattan, Fort Riley, and Junction City areas for over 30 years.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
The Kansas Livestock Foundation has awarded 9 $1,000 Youth in Agriculture scholarships to students from across the state for the next school year, funded by proceeds from the Club Calf sale held during the Kansas Junior Livestock Show. These scholarships are presented each year to students entering or returning to a Kansas junior or senior college and pursuing a degree in agriculture or a related field. 5 of the recipients will be attending Kansas State University in the fall. Lindy Bilberry is the daughter of Larry and Ann Bilberry from Garden City. She will be a junior in agribusiness. Cord Curran, son of Joseph and Kim Curran from Farlington, will be a freshman majoring in agribusiness. Chelsea Figge is the daughter of Keith and Beverly Figge from Onega. She will be a junior majoring in agricultural education. Gabrielle Gillum, the daughter of Jerry and Christy Gillum of Washington, will be a freshman majoring in agricultural communications. Matthew Hammond from Ozaki will be a freshman majoring in agricultural economics. He is the son of John and Lisa Hammond. The Kansas Livestock Foundation operates for charitable, scientific, and educational purposes that advance the interests of the beef industry. To invest in this mission, contact KLA Director of Membership Marketing and Services, Ryan Higbee.
Hi, I'm Brian Holder with Paragon Ag. Market price on all the grains have remained under pressure as the prospects to raise a good crop are favorable. USDA reported last week's first crop condition rating for corn at 74% good to excellent, which was not a record due to the frost and excessive rains. However, that rating is in the upper ranges for starting conditions over the past 30 years. We are going into the more volatile time frame for the row crop prices, and while weather is always a yield and price determining factor, the dollar index appears to be trumping all other news. Fundamental problems in wheat with rust and overall quality issues gave a brief lift to the market price 2 weeks ago, only to collapse last week under the weight of the rising dollar. Last week's rally in the dollar hit wheat especially hard because we export 45% of our production, and this comes at a time when we are already overpriced on the world stage. Quality issues in wheat will remain through harvest, but getting the trade to build price premium for it may be only seen if we can get a combination of a lower dollar and another world producer experiencing weather or production problems. So overall, prices could continue to grind lower on the grains, But as we move into June, it appears the markets will be stuck in neutral, waiting for any summer rally news that may spark the heavily short fund traders into a short covering rally. Long term, we see these markets lower into harvest after summer weather is settled. So look for opportunities to reduce price risk in the next 60 days. For questions or comments, give me a call at 888-452-8751.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Well, that's our show for today. I hope you'll join us each week for more news and information about agriculture in the state of Kansas. I'm Brian Holman, and thanks for watching.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Tammy the Pro Home Plus is all about providing warmth and kindness to aging individuals who find it difficult to live on their own. Tammy's team is made up of experienced caregivers and nurses committed to the highest level of individualized care, focusing on health and well-being, and assisting with nutrition, grooming, medications, therapies, and daily living needs, all in a warm, caring environment. Call Tammy the Pro Home Plus today at 785-383-7094 to learn how we can help.